Hi guys, we're back at it again with new Revit content this week. I'm Zach from BIMteriors, and last week we went over view ranges and everything that you need to know about view ranges. So if you need to get caught up on that, I'll put into the link below that episode. This week we're going to talk about plan regions, and plan regions are great for what if on our plan views we need to cut and create these different view ranges. So in the last week's episode, we kind of created these cut planes for the entire view. But what happens if on certain portions of that view, we need different cuts and different view ranges? So in this episode this week, we're going to go over everything there is to know about plan regions and creating multiple cuts on one single view. Okay, so we're back. We are now have a floor plan and we're cutting. So for example, we're on our level 2 plan in this project example, and we're in this room right here. Now, if we look over to the left-hand side, you can see I've cut a section through this to kind of see what's going on. And you can see here in the orange is our cut plane from that plan. So our view range on level 2 is set to 1200 and we're looking down. However, if you look into our section, you can see maybe there's a window there that I'd love for that to show up on our plan, and there's something maybe on that wall. So in this case here, for this example, there's a TV, but they're not showing up. And instead of altering the view range, so if I was on our level 2 plan, instead of altering that view range to a higher height, what could happen sometimes is that you're then missing out on other areas of your floor plan. And we want to create multiple cut planes and view ranges throughout. So how do we do that? What are the steps? In your view tab at the top of your ribbon, select it. And under plan views, if you select on that and drop that menu down, you can see then you have access to a tool called plan region. And what that's going to allow us to do is to create an area that has a different cut on a certain boundary of a different portion of that view or that plan view. So I'm going to select the plan region, and I'm going to come over here and hover over this area. And I'm actually, again, your draw tools do come up. So you can do from line to rectangle to pick lines to something custom. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool, select from one side to another. And before I hit the finish edit mode, you can see here under my properties, I now have view range. So what we want to do is we want to select this. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to say top, maybe level above. We can have that offset to 0. So at least we know it's going to the level above. Our cut plane, the more important part, is that we want to go to cut at what a height or value that's going to be cutting through those elements that we want to see on our plan views. So in this instance, that 2150 that's highlighted in blue is that magic number for us to be able to see that window, and in this case here, that TV that might be mounted to that wall. So I'm going to change that, enter our cut plane value to 2150, and I'm going to hit OK. And then before, again, nothing has happened. So we got to make sure that we finish the edit mode. So select on that check mark. And you can see now you're starting to see graphically what you are seeing over here. It's now showing up in this view. So we're able to have now multiple view cuts throughout the one view. And don't worry, you can change this at any time as well. So if you select on that boundary, you can see it does prompt up and bring up that plan region where then you can edit this at any time. So if something moves or something changes, it's not like you have to create a brand new one. You can edit that throughout the project lifecycle at any time. We're going to do the same workflow just so we get used to that to bring back that TV on that wall. So we're going to go to our view tab, plan views, drop down the menu, find your plan region, and I'm going to just hover over this area, and we're going to edit this to 2150, and again, our top, we want to make sure is above our cut plane, so I'm just going to go to the level above, go to 0, hit OK. And again, making sure that we do finish the edit mode. So now we are bringing up our TV that is there. Now, how can you start to apply this to your projects? I think about our projects and how we work on our teams. And sometimes we might be in a reflected ceiling plan and we've got a 2 volume space. So on L1, you come into this beautiful vestibule and lobby, and maybe it's 2 stories, but the rest of your plan view and your footprint of your building is only a 1 story volume. But we don't want to create multiple views, and we want to make sure that we're only creating one view that just, again, is cutting and looking to the level above. But there's a portion of that RCP that's not showing, because in theory it's at that second volume space and zone, so it's not showing. So these plan regions for those 2 story volumes on your reflected ceiling plans are fantastic, and vice versa, potentially depending on the grade of your building. There's different areas, so maybe on a portion of your lobby, your vestibule, you're coming in at a lower level or a higher level, and you want to be able to see below that. So sometimes your view ranges will capture that, but sometimes then it brings up things you don't want to see. So these, again, plan regions are great ways to isolate areas that you want to see further views and further depth from, to capture the elements that you're detailing and putting into your project. That's a wrap on this week's edition of Plan Regions. And hopefully now on your projects, you're able to kind of gain more insight. So if you do want to alter certain areas of your plan and have certain different offsets of cut planes on those portions of those views, now you have the tools and the abilities to kind of put those to use to your projects. If you're hearing this message, it means that you've listened to the new content all the way to the end. And for that, I thank you. Please like and subscribe now to gain access to new Revit content weekly.